all for coming. My name is Lucy Dabney. I'm the Executive Director of Program to Aid Citizen Enterprise, and this is our third, I always mispronounce it, I'm going to try, Pecha Kucha. Peg will tell you, I say Pecha Kucha most of the time. Peg will tell you more about what that exactly means. This is a sharing opportunity that started just among the groups in our intensive services capacity building program, and we found that it was so useful that we decided to expand it to larger stakeholders. So that's why you all have been asked to come. The intensive services program is one of our funding and capacity building partnerships, of which there are a couple. We also have programming in the area of improving community resources. Our Giving Circle is in that area. Some of you are familiar with Inclusive Voices. That's part of our education and knowledge development. And lastly, we've started in the last few years P.A.C.E Consulting, and many of you have had an opportunity to experience the magic that is Sheila Washington. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about P.A.C.E in general, but also call your attention to something we're really excited about. For the first time, we have an independent evaluation by TCC Group, which is a nationally known consulting firm, on this program. And in a nutshell, I think everybody was forced to take away an executive summary. For those of you who really like this kind of thing, if you go up on our website, there are all kinds of graphs and charts and all that kind of stuff that evaluators do. But basically it says that what we say we're doing, we're doing. We are increasing the organizational capacity of small to mid-sized community-based organizations who serve the African American and disadvantaged communities. And we're doing it in a way that when compared to other organizations across the country, it's similar size, similar business kinds of organizations, that our organizations are looking pretty good. And so that makes us all very happy. To many of you who participated in that evaluation, not everybody, but a good number of you, and your hard work, because this is a partnership, as you know. We come to it with what we have, which are some resources, some ideas, and a way of being, and you bring everything you have, and that's what makes the difference. So sit back and enjoy the Pecha Kucha. If you are anything like me, you'll find a lot of stories that are really going to grab your heart. And this is Peg Fiedler. Hi! She manages the program, and so she's going to kick it off with a story.
Great. As Lucy had mentioned, my name is Peg Fiedler, and I'm the program manager for our intensive services capacity building program, of which all of our representatives are here today. And we are really excited to have our third annual Pecha Kucha, as it said, which is Japanese actually for chit-chat. And today we have 20 groups, or excuse me, we have 10 groups with us who all have 20 seconds to take a look at 20 slides, and they're going to give a presentation on their organization so you can see the wonderful work that they're doing in the community. Now, with this whole process, there are no dress rehearsals here. So this is meant to be kind of lighthearted and fun. And every year it's interesting because as groups are with us for perhaps more than 1 year, we have different presenters who come up and take part in this. So everyone's kind of fresh and new to this. Doing this presentation style, so you will notice there's a bit of rawness to it, but that's exactly what we're looking for, and we think that everybody's just going to have a lot of fun with it today. So we want everyone to sit back and to enjoy the Pecha Kucha.
Does that mean the clock has started?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Orane Sharif, and I'm the board chair for the Schenley Heights Community Development Program. The Schenley Heights Community Development Program's mission is to nurture, support, and develop community through wholesome programs and address the academic, moral, cultural, health, recreational needs of the children, youth, and their families in the Hill District of Pittsburgh. The Schenley Heights Community Development Program is a 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based organization located in an area affectionately called the Sugar Top community of the Hill District. The program was founded in 1995 in the basement of Grace Memorial Presbyterian Church by a group of church pioneers under the leadership of Reverend Dr. Johnny Monroe. These church and community pioneers saw a need and envisioned a program for neighborhood children that provided academic support, social skill development, and a safe environment during out-of-school hours. So the doors were open to the world, and Schenley Heights Community Development Program started its journey on becoming a catalyst for change in the community. And in 2014, our doors have begun to open wider and wider. Beginning in 2012, the organization began to undergo some major changes. First, the departure of our Director of Programs, Nikki Monroe-Hines, to the departure of our Executive Director, Dr. Johnny Monroe. As of 2014, we have a new Executive Director, Director of Programs, Board Chair, and several staff members. With this new personnel, we plan on continuing our program and strengthen who we are.
Good afternoon, I'm Devonna Graham, Director of Programming for Schenley Heights. I want to talk about our target market, which is children aged 3 through 15, which is grades pre-K through 8th grade in the city of Pittsburgh. We draw on some of the local schools, Miller, Weil, and University Prep, but we also venture out to the East Side and North Side schools, which you can see here. Malines, the Urban League Charter School, we also partner with Liberty and Dilworth Elementary Schools, where we pick up students and bring them to our centers and either transport them home in the evenings, or we have parents to pick them up. We provide recreational, cultural, and academic enrichment to students after school and out of school time during the summer. We also partner very heavily with our parent groups. We have a parent advisory council that meets on a regular basis to help inform our programming and the way that we reach youth in a quality way. We also have a very unique program called the NEA Coordination. We have a program coordinator who does specific behavior intervention with students who have been referred to her through the lead and assistant teachers. She's able to offer one-on-one programming and one-on-one counseling with the families that hopefully lead toward better academic results both after school and during the school day. So here you can see our students participating in martial arts, some microbiology, and some in the community work as listed here, shown here as the outdoor community garden. We also partner with the University of Pittsburgh's Jumpstart, which is a program of AmeriCorps. We have that program out at our Peabody site. We have preschool students from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m., and they are able to provide twice a week 1 to 3, or even sometimes 1-to-1 programming with students. Our very new program focus, I guess maybe just ramped up, is we've moved from STEM to STEAM, adding the arts. So we have themed programming weeks where our program coordinator puts together a myriad of program offerings that focus on each of these disciplines, and those dates or those programs rotate. And here also you can see we've outlined the Pittsburgh Public School District, where again we draw from many of the school districts in our area. One of the things that we've noticed though in recent years is with the decline in population, the carryover to housing development in the Hill District. So as that changes, we're hoping to see continued growth.
And this is where P.A.C.E comes in. We plan on using P.A.C.E funding to improve upon several areas in our organization: financial management, board development, and fundraising. These are all key components in strengthening our foundation and keeping in line with our mission statement and the vision of Grace Pioneers. As our organization continues on this journey, we will be looking for new board members. We're looking for diverse board members. We're looking for working board members. We're looking for connected board members. And most assuredly, a cheerfully giving board member. With strengthened numbers and strengthened attitude, Schenley Heights Community Development Program will continue to be able to affect change in our ever-changing environment. As we grow, we will continue to examine the problems and issues that affect our communities. As with any small nonprofit organization, there are things that we must fight for, work for, and ask for. And with helping hands and continuous work, all those things will bear sweet fruit, and with P.A.C.E's help, we'll increase our reach and touch more families, children, and youth. As far as our organization, thus far our organization has begun to work strengthening our foundation. Through Robert Morris's Bear Institute, we have undergone board training. Our financial manager has begun training to become a certified CPA. And our annual fundraising event is coming up soon, Jazz on the Hill, June 27th, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can buy your tickets after this presentation. As we look to grow, so do our ideas. Our vision for down the road include university collaborations, a new preschool, adult education programs, a new language program, and a new community partnerships, and we welcome any new initiatives. These ideas are great and will fit perfectly into our new facility, the newly acquired Madison School. The Madison School was dormant since 2006, but is in great condition and creates a great opportunity for our program and community use. So the work continues. As we continue, we have grown, we are developing, and we are proud to say that Schenley Heights Community Development Program is truly a place where hope resides. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Boyer, and I am the Amachi Ambassadors Coordinator at Amachi Pittsburgh. Side note, I was also involved in the program when I was a child. Amachi Pittsburgh is a nonprofit organization that provides services to children and families impacted by parental incarceration. Our mission is to empower young minds to overcome the challenges of parental incarceration and to reach their full potential. We believe that every child has inherent value and strength and that they're able to break the cycle of imprisonment and poverty. There are several key factors, all interrelated, that determine whether or not an individual is more vulnerable to the criminal justice system and is therefore more likely to be impacted by parental incarceration. These are some of the key factors, such as race and class, gender, age, and family history. There are 90 neighborhoods in Pittsburgh. We serve them all, but we target our efforts in neighborhoods that have been identified as the most vulnerable. We were founded in 2003 by Pittsburgh Leadership Foundation, and our program model is based on the original Amachi program model developed by Dr. Wilson Good Sr. of Philadelphia. We've spun off from Pittsburgh Leadership Foundation, and since 2012 have been under the fiscal sponsorship of the P.A.C.E Foundation. We have 3 programs: one-on-one mentoring, where children are matched with caring and supportive adults; family strengthening and reunification for parents returning home. The goal is to strengthen family ties, reduce trauma for children, and reduce recidivism for parents. Our last program is Amachi Ambassadors, which is a teen leadership development program designed to give a platform to amplify the voices of our youth. In our 10 years, we have proudly served over 1,000 children and families through community partnerships and the help of our caring volunteers. We are the only organization in Allegheny County that focuses on this distinct population, and because of this specialized focus, we're able to better understand and serve the needs of our children and families. Successfully, we have matched 900 children in the past 10 years. We currently have about 100 matches. 200 families have received family strengthening support, and we've released our first publication to the community, What We've Learned from the Children, which gives a voice to the youth we serve and also raises awareness about challenges they face and also their strengths. One strength of Amachi is a report or study that was done by the University of Pittsburgh. There was a sample group of 50 former Amachi mentees who are now adults, and using an online database, we were able to determine that only 8% of them had criminal records. This is drastically low compared to the estimates of the Department of Justice, which states that 70% of kids with a parent in jail will end up in jail themselves. Another strength of Amachi is that it's simply a good investment. The cost of providing services to a child in our program for 1 year is significantly lower than the cost of incarcerating an adult for 1 year, and also lower than the cost of educating a child for 1 year. We found that successful matches with the highest impact requires a more holistic approach that engages the community and families. So we recognize that the impact that Amachi has on individual children, but that it also impacts their families and also the communities in which they live. We've been involved in the P.A.C.E program last year as well, and we've been able to grow our capacity. We've been able to increase our advocacy efforts and develop some much needed marketing materials. Currently on staff, we have 5 staff members, 1 intern, and we're working on developing a governing board. We've also been able to use the funds to actively recruit and train board members. We've been able to invest some of those funds in diversifying our funding, we worked with the church online to develop an Amachi app, which allows people to make contributions to Amachi from their smartphones. Looking ahead, we've been in celebration of our 10 years in serving children of incarcerated parents and looking ahead to the next decade. We're really excited to have a strong board on our team, increased capacity and sustainability. Our board will be involved in 2 major projects. The first is our upcoming 10th anniversary celebration called the Amachi Hachi Pachi. And our fundraising campaign, 100K in 100 days. The board will be involved by serving on committees, helping us secure sponsorships, secure donors, and we have some plans that I can share with you now for the Hachi Pachi. It is scheduled for October this fall. And the focus is storytelling. So we will be highlighting all of the stories of the children and families that we have served over the years. And we hope that the efforts from the 100K in 100 days fundraising campaign and the Hachi Pachi will be complementary, and they will help us raise awareness about the work that we do at Amachi and also raise funds so that we can continue to do the work. I'm so ahead. You can enjoy the photos. Thank you.
I'm a development associate with Heritage Community Initiatives. Wait. In 1983, Heritage Health Foundation was created to serve as the endowment arm of Braddock General Hospital, which eventually became Braddock Medical Center. And in 1996, Braddock Medical Center became UPMC Braddock, and then it was decided that Heritage Health Foundation would become a freestanding, community-based nonprofit, which is where we're at today. Wow, the organization still supported the work of the hospital. It expanded the scope of its direct work with the community. Heritage serves through core programs in the areas of education, transportation, and life-enhancing initiatives. In 2009, to better reflect the spirit of the organization, the name was changed to Heritage Community Initiatives. In July of 2013, Paula G. McWilliams took over as president and CEO of Heritage Community Initiatives, and she brings to Heritage many years of experience in pragmatic philanthropy, and her work has been recognized by a number of national organizations. And in November of 2013, Mary Grace Diana joined us as Director of Finance, and she brings 13 years of nonprofit financial experience. Heritage Community Transportation, an enhanced version of our previous WorkLink program, launched in March of 2014. And the service was made possible by the passage of Act 89 in 2013, comprehensive statewide funding legislation. And in order to keep our services running and to show our dedication to its continued success, Heritage was responsible for raising a $150,000 local match to cover 15% of our total yearly budget. And our target service population is individuals and families facing socioeconomic challenges in 20 communities within Allegheny County. And Heritage Community Transportation operates in transit-isolated communities from Monroeville to Portview along the Monongahela River. According to our July 2013 survey, the average yearly income of our riders is just $23,466. Without this service, 97% of our more than 3,000 registered riders would have no other way of getting to work. Heritage Education Program families all live and learn in the Woodland Hills School District, ranked 98 out of 104 schools in Western Pennsylvania based on PSSA scores. Nearly 95% of families qualify for subsidized care and free or reduced lunch program based on income levels below 200% of the poverty line. And Stephen Bagnato from P.A.C.E Office of Child Development has said, participation in heritage education programs shows measurable and educationally significant impacts vital for early school success for all children, especially those who are most vulnerable. And we serve 250 students each year from 6 weeks to 8th grade. Heritage operates directly out of Braddock and serves 20 Allegheny County communities. For generations, our service area was the economic engine that drove the Pittsburgh economy through the steel industry, but today it has lost over 90% of its housing stock. And over the past 3 decades, the industrial base was virtually decimated with the closing of manufacturing plants. And local seniors tell the time when you didn't have to leave Braddock to find anything, but now you can't even find a place to eat. And Heritage staff includes a president and CEO, 10 administrative staff, 32 teachers and educational staff members, and 3 consultants. And all Heritage classrooms are staffed by teachers with a minimum of a bachelor's degree in education or related field. And our board of directors has representatives and partners from the local region, including Dollar Bank, Giant Eagle, Pitt, CCAC, Rivers of Steel, and the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. Our project with P.A.C.E is capacity building through increasing Heritage's marketing abilities to create champions for our organization and diversify our funding resources. And one way we've done this so far is hiring a marketing consultant, Meryl Leff, who's been a big help with our website, and she works directly with us on doing things so we can reach more and different people in areas. We've also worked with MCM Communications to create marketing pieces for Heritage that enhance our brand and increase opportunities to connect with future champions of the organization. Through P.A.C.E, we have greatly increased the reach of our organization to include local businesses and organizations, former board members, former donors, vendors, and corporate contacts, legislative officials, and event participants. Heritage P.A.C.E project increased capacity by helping us get word out about who we are and what we do, because a lot of people know our programs, but they don't really know the organization. And since we reach out to target markets through positioning piece mailings and outreach materials funded through P.A.C.E Capacity Building Grant Program, we've seen an increase in web traffic as well as phone calls and constituent inquiries via email. To date, we have reached out to over 3,000 people with our new marketing abilities, and we continue to do so every day. Our greatest focus right now is on raising the $150,000 in matching funds to PennDOT and support of Heritage Community Transportation, as well as general operating funds. And in addition to PennDOT funds, Heritage is utilizing materials to engage groups we had not previously had the opportunity to work with. We will continue to build our brand awareness and recognition over the next fiscal year, and while securing partnerships for the future. Heritage serves individuals and families in 20 communities within Allegheny County through.
Full disclosure, I am not going to be on target with any of this. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, we're not there yet. We're there. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is LaShawn Burton-Falk, and I am the Executive Director of the Manchester Citizens Corporation, or MCC. Today, the team I have with me is Ms. Marva Corbin, who happens to be an MCC Board of Director and Treasurer, Ms. Virginia Barnes, who is also an MCC Board of Director, and Ruth Johnson, who is internal team of MCC and is with us today, the Golden Girls. Today we will share Manchester with you, our mission, our assets, and our program. Manchester is one of the city's oldest National Register Historic Districts, located in Pittsburgh's North Side. Manchester has over 2,000 residents who navigate streets, cross bridges to downtown, Route 65, and I-279, and can be anywhere in minutes. Here is the topography of Manchester. If you look at the top left of the map, clear to the river's border. At one time, you could go from the beginning of the street that borders one of the sides of Manchester, Allegheny Avenue, begin at the beginning of the street and go clear to the river. But in 1965, Manchester was disconnected by what is now Route 65. By the construction of Route 65, it led to a proposed direction that was not of interest to the community. MCC, founded in 1965 and incorporated in 1971, was the result of the organization being created as a response to widespread blight and abandonment. This was a result of the economic downturn, suburbanization, and urban renewal. MCC, as a CDC, in conjunction with its board of directors and residents of Manchester, developed in 2009 a neighborhood community strategic plan. And based on that, you would have seen the map of market strength that segmented our community into 3 color-coded segments. One being the weaker portion of the community, the other being transitional, and last, the strongest. We as a CDC have chosen to focus on the weaker portion of the community. Census would tell you if we were there that MCC was one of the first CDCs to link historic preservation with economic development. And our notability for being a nationally registered historic district has brought us new residents to the community as a result. But our greatest assets was the photo with all the people where we began. And that was a photo that was a collaborative group of nonprofit CDC, which is MCC, Manchester Citizens Corporation, NCA, which is the North Shore Community Alliance, MYDC, Manchester Youth and Development Center, MAX, which is Manchester Academic Charter School, all together as a group because we do collaborate. One of the things I typically mention is that we all stay in our own lane, but we're very helpful with one another. And again, if we look at the most valuable assets of our community, we will see how invested the community is. Here's a photo of our district council, Councilman R. Daniel Lavelle, who happens to be at Manchester Elementary School on a Saturday afternoon in shorts, participating in something that was critical to the community. Here again, we have our valuable assets, community residents who band together to go down to the Historic Review Commission in an effort to fight against demolition of a lot of our historic structures in Manchester. Note that we all have on Manchester Proud to Call It Historic t-shirts as well. So again, Manchester is a very proud place to be and a proud place to come from. You would have seen our boardroom where we do a lot of our strategic planning and decision makings. Our community room, which is often full of community residents coming for important issues, concerns that are able to be addressed with our district council, as well as the community getting together to look at our strategy and to see if we're on target with what that is. Our core mission at work is what you see here. Our core mission is to plan, build, promote, and maintain a thriving community that represents the residents of Manchester. This is the result of our core mission when we are focused on it is the rehab and reducing the blight and abandonment within our community. The next slide will show you partnerships. We can't go it alone. Partnerships are very critical. To your far left is honorary board chair Linda Nelson and a partnership with Mark Schneider and Sally Flynn of Fourth River Development, which has given us an opportunity to take a former 4.3 brownfield site and put a proposed 31 new infill homes on that particular property. That, again, is what partnerships are all about. The next slide will take you into additional partnerships when it gets there. While we are not only brick and mortar, as a CDC, our core mission is focusing on that, but we, again, with collaborative nonprofit relationships located in Manchester, we do partner to bring vibrant business. Taco Bell, a recently new business in our community. We were able to, based on a relationship, provide 16 new hires and opportunities out of that location. Here again is partnership at its finest, our Renaissance 2. All of our partners at the table knocking down a makeshift wall that didn't do too good of busting. Thank you for allowing us to share.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Catherine Heffernan, and I am the Assistant Director of Communications and Development at Reading is Fundamental, or RIF, Pittsburgh. We were founded in 1981, and our mission is to provide children with the resources, motivation, and opportunities to develop a lifelong love of reading. We're actually an independent affiliate of the National Reading is Fundamental, Inc., which is the oldest and largest children's and family literacy nonprofit in the U.S. We serve our city's most economically disadvantaged children and families, and we touch over 20,000 kids each year. We've actually been serving the community for over 33 years. 5 years ago, we underwent a significant transformation. We brought in new leadership, took on 2 new programs, and we built a whole new team. We now have 6 staff members, 5 AmeriCorps members, and hundreds of volunteers. RIF Pittsburgh is now armed with an arsenal of services that allows us to more effectively tackle the literacy challenges that our community faces. And here in Pittsburgh, those challenges are significant. According to A+ Schools' 2012 report to the community, more than 50% of economically disadvantaged elementary school students in the Pittsburgh Public Schools cannot read at grade level. But studies have linked the number of books in the home with increased reading achievement, and have shown that by simply increasing access to age-appropriate reading material, we can have a profound impact on a child's potential for academic success. And we combine that access with fun, motivational literacy activities and family involvement, we can spark a lifelong love of reading that may have otherwise gone untouched. Our programs operate in 140 sites throughout the community: schools, early childhood centers, after-school programs, and public housing communities. We actually focus on 6 targeted neighborhoods: East Liberty, the Hill District, Homewood, the North Side, the South Side, and Wilkinsburg. And we're working with partners in Hazelwood to bring our Storymobile program to the community in the fall. Our oldest and largest program is called Books for Keeps. It provides 64,000 books to more than 20,000 kids each year. Children in this program participate in reading celebrations, where they read stories and participate in fun literacy activities, and then select a book to take home and keep. All of our sites have between 3 and 5 reading celebrations each year. And in 2009, we actually piloted a Books for Keeps math and science program, which connects reading, math, and science together in a meaningful way. By engaging students in hands-on math and science experiments connected to a story, often facilitated by a real scientist, we're building the foundations for academic success, exposing students to STEM career opportunities, allowing them to get their hands dirty and have a lot of fun. And our third program is called Read to Your Family. This program works to incorporate reading into everyday life and provides incentives for students and family members to read together at home, helping to add one more layer of reading motivation for children and families. Last year, the students in this program read 6,500 books at home with their families. Our next program is Everybody Wins. This program pairs 2nd and 3rd graders with volunteered mentors to share lunch, conversation, and good books for an hour each week. This program currently runs in 4 schools: Faison, King, Phillips, and Weil. And this year we actually expanded our Faison program by adding a 2nd reading section. At this point, we're currently serving almost 220 students in this program. And our last program is the Storymobile. These are 2 libraries on wheels that take books, activities, and literacy resources to childcare centers, kindergarten classrooms, and public housing communities across the city. The visits are designed to promote reading and literacy-based activities for children and families. And last year we served 3,200 children on the Storymobile. Our goal is to ensure that all of our programs are fully integrated to maximize the impact of our resources. The Storymobile leads the efforts of our other programs and has become the cornerstone of our organizational strategy. Our target Storymobile neighborhoods become focus areas for our entire organization, and we're working to introduce our other programs into as many appropriate sites as possible. The Storymobile is a highly visible side of our work, and the layering of multiple RIF Pittsburgh programs gives hands and feet to our efforts. This allows us to build the foundations for academic success by providing children with a comprehensive, holistic literacy experiences that touches them over and over and over, beginning from 2 years of age and continuing into their teens. But we know we cannot do this alone, and we make it a priority to meaningfully collaborate with our partners, educators, stakeholders, local organizations, and community residents to leverage our shared experiences and resources to make meaningful impacts on the children we're all serving. For example, this summer we're working with the food bank's Produce to the People distributions and City Parks' roving art cart and summer food programs. RIF Pittsburgh has actually been a member of P.A.C.E.'s Intensive Services Capacity Building Program for the past 4 years. And that significant organizational transformation I spoke of earlier, the P.A.C.E. program has been instrumental in propelling us forward in that process and providing us the support and training that we need along the way. During our first 3 years in this program, we actually focused on building up our financial sustainability with an emphasis on individual giving, growing our marketing strategy, and developing our board of directors. We were very successful in reaching our goals in these areas, and we continue to prioritize board development and our individual donor retention and growth. But this year, we actually changed the focus of our P.A.C.E project to program evaluation, which we identified as an area for growth and improvement. We engaged with Dr. Jen Uridi from the University of Pittsburgh's Learning and Research Development Center to guide us through theory of action and logic model development for both our Storymobile and our Everybody Wins programs. We're actually wrapping up our work on the Storymobiles process this week, and we're looking forward to diving into the Everybody Wins meetings right away. The development of our theory of action and logic model is actually helping our team to articulate a single shared vision for each of our programs, while also pushing us further to consider our long-term vision for the community and how best we can achieve that impact. And really delving into our work and the pathways for change it creates, this process is helping us to examine our current program and impact, while also revealing new opportunities for growth. For example, we're actually hoping to take a closer look at our Storymobile's programmatic offerings to ensure that they're better supporting kindergarten readiness in children ages 3 to 5. For this project, we also hope to build the foundations for stronger program evaluation activities, to articulate potential evaluation questions, and to understand how the information gleaned from subsequent evaluation can be used. We still need to explore what types, if any, evaluations are appropriate for us, but the work we are doing as part of this project will help to make that become more clear. We're really excited about this opportunity and want to thank P.A.C.E for not only funding this work, but also for their continual support of our efforts over the past 4 years. Our participation in this program has really helped us to become a stronger organization. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them after. Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. William Simmons. I'm the president of Gateway Medical Society. And Gateway Medical Society is an organization that's affiliated with the National Medical Association. This is an organization that was formed back in the 1890s. And this is where when black doctors weren't allowed to be in the AMA. So Gateway has gone through many different changes during the years. It is networking, recruitment, and right now we're focused on educating the community. And that's one of the major things we're doing. We raise a voice for the physicians of color in the community who are involved in the care of socially economically challenged patients. Now, we have done a lot of makeovers in our lives. We have changed quite a bit. And one of the biggest things is the tribute to P.A.C.E for helping us in our makeovers. We have been able to change by gaining board knowledge. We've been able to branding as far as printing brochures and all of those kinds of things are things that P.A.C.E has helped us to do. We've also learned the power of partnership, and we have many different partners that have helped us along the way, and we're using those partners and our sponsors to get the word out in the community on different educational needs, on healthcare needs, about diabetes in the African American and community, about different kinds of cancers that people are just are dying in large numbers, and we are the largest number of people who are affected by these. We have ourselves a community symposium, which we do every year. This is our 9th community symposium, held at the Herbermann Community Center, Conference Center at Shadyside Hospital. And we're focusing on learning to live well. And we're trying to allow people to learn how the power of eating the right foods can actually help and increase your duration, your life. We have special conferences on women, so women can get together and talk about the issues that affect their lives, and whether it be from breast cancer, but also things that are very important. We have men conference. We also have conferences that will talk about diabetes and eye care. We have also a youth program. We had as many as 400 people at our last conference, 100 of which were kids, and a portion of the kids are kids that are in our mentorship program, which I'll tell you a little bit about. And these are the kids. We have 84 different kids from the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th and 10th grades. And we have taken it upon ourselves over the last 5 years to try to academically mentor young African American men so that they can be college ready, so that they can take their places in the world and hopefully in medicine. We do many things with them. We try to get them hands-on experience in the labs human simulation labs. We have Carnegie Learning Series, which they can grow their knowledge. We have many different kinds of, we also have partners with Carnegie Mellon where they have science camps in the summertime so these kids can learn additional things. We've won awards from the school boards where they have recognized and acknowledged the effect that we've had on these young men and how they have improved their academic abilities in the high school. One of the major things that we have tried to teach them, especially the 9th and 10th graders, when they get in the advanced placement programs, many of them are the only African Americans, or at least the only boys that are in the program. And we try to let them know that don't be afraid to be the only person of color in your class, because this is to make sure that they don't try to steer away from those programs. We want them in the science, the technology, engineering, and math. We also have a program that tries to help existing medical students at the University of Pittsburgh. We're able to give them scholarships to help them so that they encourage them along the way on that long pathway to the beltway, the pipeline that we're trying to get more physicians. Now, we didn't start as young as this picture because we're trying to figure out what age is appropriate to start. We started at the 6th grade so that we can get kids ready and willing to be prepared for high school and then going on to college. But there are many programs that actually go down into the younger groups. And one of the reasons why we start in the 6th grade area is that many times we want the kids to mentor each other. So peer mentoring is very important in improving academic performance. They kind of compete with each other. We want them to increase their ability of choices of what they can do in their lives. And the other things that we try to teach them is we want them to show commitment. They see where we are and they see where they are. We want them to see that they need to go one step at a time. Don't try to look all the way where the other person is and say, oh, I'll never get there. If you can just make it to that next step, and that will be the thing. We also try to teach them what our parents have taught us. One of my things that my father used to say is that the gazelle wakes up in the morning and it has to run because otherwise it will be devoured by the big lion. The lion wakes up in the morning, it has to run because it has to catch the gazelle. Whether you're a lion or a gazelle, you have to wake up running. We have many people that have come to Pittsburgh just to see what we're doing here with these young people. The president of the, Dr. Lenore, who is the president of the National Medical Society, have been here at our galas just to see what we have done here in Pittsburgh and the results. They've actually even honored us by giving us an award for mentorship, a national award. We also have other programs where we try to teach each other, teach doctors in the community, and we have a provider symposium. We do this in September, and we teach them primarily now about the Affordable Care Act and the impact on the community, but we also teach them about, now that we are computerized in medicine, how legally can that be used against you, and that's what the conference is going to be about this year. We also work with the University of Pittsburgh. They have a disparities conference where they look at disparities in medicine. And in addition, we try to help the community in the prom for seniors. Instead of a senior prom, we have an organization that we pair with that helps the elderly to have a good time in the community. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Shenora Johnson, and I serve as the project manager for the Jerron Grayson Community Center, the permanent site for the center that cares. 14 years later, it's still much more than an acronym. We represent a place where kids' lives are transformed. As CARES transitions children pre-K through college and into adulthood. Our promise to every child who enters our doors is to be met personally where they are in the diverse levels of personal, social, and academic levels of development, and to be given a hand to climb step by step to meet adulthood with strength and courage to be able to reach their life's plans and goals. CARES missions is to create a networking system with programming to prepare each child and young adult to achieve their life's plan and goal in a safe, dependable, nurturing environment. With a strong pre-K population at CARES, we understand that early introduction to learning and support is
is crucial to a successful future. One of the Center That Cares' greatest partnerships for the past 10 years has been our relationship with Duquesne University Work Study Program. We average between 6 and 8 work study students who assist our kids with their homework, recreation activity, as well as fellowshipping. The kids love the Duquesne students, and the Duquesne students love our kids. Another collaboration that we work with is our Boys Scout Club's troop. We're troop number 751, where our unit leader, Derek Riley, comes in weekly to work with our 3rd through 5th graders. With the Center That Cares, they receive their first badge. Additionally, we partner with Strong Women, Strong Girls, as well as the Girl Scouts in the summer. This picture signifies Tay-Tay, Taylor Robinson, who is one of our poster children, who started with us during kindergarten. We saw her leadership ability. Years later, she has transitioned into one of our senior counselors. Now she is Pittsburgh Promise ready with years of work experience under her belt, and she has been accepted to several different colleges. In our short 3 hours we have with the kids on a daily basis, we understand and try to expose them to culture and arts. During the first semester, they do dancing with Melissa Tyler, who was a former student of ours who went to Howard University, and now we have a student, Camille Davison, who teaches Zulu and African dialect to our children Mondays and Wednesdays. CARES is a year-round program. During the summer, we have a 7-week intensive program where our youth are immersed in education and recreation activities. This summer is full of nonstop activities, and we are excited about what is to come. Another great partner we have is our Tickets for Kids. With this relationship, we continue to expose our children as well as our parents to cultural events. Here we took several kids and parents to the Lion King to help foster and engage family relationships. We strongly believe in the power of strengthening our families together and blending our families. We have celebrations to showcase our youth and what they have learned throughout the year, where parents, funders, and the community can come out to support our children and what they have come and learned. We are very grateful for our first year of partnership with P.A.C.E, where we worked with Lisa Olsack and Olsack Management Consulting, and they helped us create a 3-year financial operating plan, as well as a 10-year budget template for the Jerron Grayson Community Center, which helps us fix the operating costs, as well as an updated employee handbook for our staff. This year, the Center That Cares is also grateful for a 2nd year of P.A.C.E funding, where we're able to assist us with programming vision of the Jerron Grayson Community Center. We have secured a team of consultants who are Judy Kaplan and Fred Brown. They are working with a core of our senior staff as well as our youth in planning, implementing, and the vision of our permanent site, which will have extended hours from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. as we serve the middle and high school population, as well as a place where the community can come. We are also working, at the same time, the Board of Directors is working with the Center That Cares and Michael Kumar around board development and recruitment. With our 4th year funding from Macaulay Ministries, CARES continues to open the minds of our youth with college tours and cultural excursions. This year, we're doing more smaller site visits with our juniors and seniors, as well as their parents, to make sure that they understand the ins and the outs of selecting the best school for their college, as well as the application process. In January, we took about 30 youth and adults to a leadership training session in Seven Springs. All but one of our students had never been exposed to skiing or snow tubing. We rented a cabin that slept 32 people, and youth and adults were able to bond and create everlasting memories. Moments like this are invaluable experiences. The students will be able to remember things like this forever. If you want to look at our book, we have it with all the pictures that the students were able to capture during this time at our leadership bonding retreat. On October 17, 2013, it was a joyous occasion in the Hill District where local and state officials joined the Center That Cares to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Jerron Grayson Community Center. On March 13th, the Center That Cares and its staff received a Good Governance Award from the League of Women Voters for the outstanding work that we do in the community. This was a special moment for the Center That Cares and its staff, how we all came together. 2 days later, Reverend Grayson was honored as a White House champion from President Barack Obama. The Jerron X. Grayson Community Center will continue to help our youth and families deal with the violence that has plagued our communities, as well as the emotional effects it has on us all. We will be partnered with Advanced Behavioral Services, as well as other organizations that will help with this. We are looking forward to summer 2014 when the community center will be open. If you would like to become a part of history, please purchase a granite paper in honor or in memory of a loved one. We look forward to a third year funding with P.A.C.E. With these papers, there's a granite blocks that will always be at the site.
Good afternoon. My name is Danny Ginyard, and I'm the Operations Manager for Macedonia Family and Community Enrichment Center, also known as SFACE. Our vision is that all children are living in healthy families, and we work out that vision with our mission to encourage the development of healthy families. We're located at 1835 Center Avenue in Suite 285 of the Hill House Association building. Macedonia F.A.C.E. is a faith-based nonprofit outreach of the Macedonia Church of Pittsburgh, incorporated in 1994 and developed as a 501c3 in 1997 with a desire to strengthen and empower the community and its residents. We have 2 branches of service. First is the Family Engagement Service, under which we deliver community case management, families and communities teaming. We deliver this in partnership with Allegheny County Department of Human Services with the goal to promote family stability by helping families build strong partnerships with natural and community supports without formalized system involvement. We've helped 54 children and 54 families and 114 children. We also operate Community Truancy Intervention Project, which is an exciting new program this year made possible by funding from Macaulay Ministries. And currently we're at UPrep and helping students in grades 6 through 12. We've helped 55 families and 80 children. Family Engagement Services also has Lifeline support, which represents the heart of Macedonia F.A.C.E. and epitomizes our motto, we are servants of the community. Funded in part by the Mendel and Sylvia Solomon Charitable Trust, administered through PNC Charitable Trust. We support families experiencing short-term crises, and we've helped 55 families with that program. Our second branch is Prevention Case Management, under which we deliver prevention, HIV/AIDS prevention interventions, Be Proud, Be Responsible, teaching techniques for teens at risk for contracting AIDS. We've served 160 teens. And Healthy Relationships teaches coping skills to people affected or living with HIV/AIDS, and we've helped 9 people. We also have HIV Case Management, which is also a new service offering funded from Jewish Healthcare this year, and we link HIV positive clients to healthcare and psychological services in addition to advocating and coordinating other services. We've helped 50 clients this year. We also work with the Minority AIDS Initiative funded through Jewish Healthcare, and this seeks to link identified people with HIV/AIDS who are not connected to care and get them linked with care to reduce the community viral load. Our other service offering is bullying prevention. We offer it to students and community stakeholders in partnership with schools and youth servicing agencies, and we've helped 410 students through workshops. Okay, so F.A.C.E. has 10 full-time staff, 1 part-time, 1 AmeriCorps volunteer or AmeriCorps member, and 4 volunteers. And I just wanted to take the time to introduce you to the hardworking people: Trish Gadsden, Fawn Walker, and Liz Hyatt. Family Engagement Services has a dedicated team: Christina, Cedric, and Ayana. One time here, okay. Okay, so, and our Prevention Case Management Services team is Rosemary Wingfield, Jessica Chase, who is our AmeriCorps member, and she was instrumental in spearheading our participation in the Certified Application Counselor designated organization, which assisted clients in enrolling through the healthcare marketplace, and we were able to help 37 people through that service offering. And we have a new hire, Brianna Jackson, who started yesterday. No picture. And the glue of our organization is the support team, Linda and Shelly. They answer the phone, so they're the first face you hear. And we also have 4 dedicated volunteers who didn't have pictures for them. Our board is made up of 11 members who represent diverse professions and have offered their time, talent, and treasure to the advancement of the mission of our agency. This is P.A.C.E's 3rd year funding us for the capacity building grant. And this year we were able to continue with executive coaching for our executive director, Tricia Gadsden, and we were also able to continue updating our IT needs, which is essential to make sure that we are able to do the technology to, that we need for our programs. But we're most excited about using the funds to get a facelift. P.A.C.E worked with a graphic artist to design a fresh look for our agency, one that captured our mission and subtly demonstrated our connection to Macedonia Church while conveying that message to the community. Look for our billboards around the city as well as banners on WTAE and Yahoo websites. And to further establish our presence, we have 2 Facebook pages, and we hope that you like us on both pages. And in August 2014, P.A.C.E will celebrate 20 years of service to the Hill District and surrounding communities. We will celebrate this milestone at our 4th annual Friend of Children benefit banquet on August 28, 2014, when this year's honoree is former Steeler Charlie Batch. And we wanted to also take the time to say thank you to P.A.C.E and its Board of Commissioners for placing their confidence in our agency and awarding us this grant. We wanted to thank Lucy and Peg for their development support and encouragement, Allegheny County for communities and family teaming, Macaulay Ministries for CTIP, and PNC, the Jewish Healthcare Foundation, and the Center for Safe Schools. P.A.C.E continues to be committed in living out its mission and addressing the disparities that impact African American families. And thank you for your attention.
I'm Janelle Johnson from the Northside Coalition for Fair Housing. And so, please not excuse us last, but I'm not going to whatever. So the Northside Coalition was formed in the summer of 1998 to respond to potential mass eviction of over 300 families living in Northside properties. Northside Associates was a 300-plus unit scatter site HUD over the Northside. And in August of 1998, the owner issued an eviction to the residents. And Northside Coalition came to be when those residents got organized and said we are not taking this eviction. So they organized, and over a year span, they were able to purchase a property that they were threatened to be evicted from. So that's the mission of Northside Coalition, is to engage in activities that preserve the long-term affordability, quality, and diversity of housing in the Pittsburgh and Northside communities while improving the quality of life for all Northside residents. Currently, Northside Coalition for Fair Housing serves our same 324 families, and they provide services and advocacy campaigns that span throughout the region. Northside Coalition for Fair Housing provides monthly workshops, field trips, as well as work on campaigns that have power to change the way people live and empower them to live with dignity, pride, and respect. Northside Coalition, they are working on development projects. They're developing 202 senior citizen building, and right now they're working on 50 lease purchase units for the families. One of the reasons the lease purchase units came up that differ from the normal rental subsidies because for the first time in history, their property was able to take in more rent money than they was collecting in subsidies from HUD. So they saw a different demographic of people who needed housing, who needed to be able to purchase their housing. So now they're building 50 lease purchase units on the north side. Some of the recent advocacy campaigns was stopping the expansion of the historic district in Central Northside, which would have the potential to displace low-income homeowners out of the community because they would no longer be able to afford to make improvements on their housing. Another campaign we worked on is bringing awareness to communities around land banking legislation, as well as work to rewrite the land banking legislation so that disenfranchised communities will have the protections and input on how vacant, blighted, and abandoned property is disposed of in our neighborhood. We do monthly workshops, as I said before, and we use those workshops to empower our residents and people, so we open it up to people throughout the city. Our governance and staffing we're a membership organization, so the membership gives their input to the board of directors, who then direct the staff on how they want to see things done. So that's the way we are a small staff with 7 of us, and so we do all that we do with just the 7 of us. And other things that we're working on, and this is why P.A.C.E is so important, is because we're expanding and we're going into different projects. We are trying to work on law enforcement and assisted development. We are working on campaigns to organize the school and get volunteers inside the school so that they can work in connection with the teachers. So P.A.C.E will be able to let us develop our staff and also our board of directors, so we can have the capacity to take on the new projects that we are working on. A lot of the pictures that you see is our Women's Walk for Peace. This year will be our 7th annual Women's Walk for Peace, and this walk is for support of domestic violence, street violence, and we try to find ways to bring awareness to that. Last year we brought Arrested Development was here last year, and it's just a way to give the community a reason to come out so that they can have something to get organized and get excited about. So I think that's it. I think there's a couple more slides, but I think that's it.
56 unit development. Right now, we got people living in Section 8 housing that are paying $1,300, $1,400 a month to live in Section 8 and just got a fear of home ownership. So we're working on building them homes that they can afford so that they can make that transition from renters to owners. These houses will have supports, and we're working, and it's a lease purchase. So at the end of the compliance period, they will have down payment money. They will be able to repair their houses. So not only will they have down payment money, but they'll have money to repair their houses from the time that they lived in them. And anybody that lives in it at the time will be able to buy it. This is pictures of the Women's Walk for Peace. Like I said, we do services, but we're an advocacy and policy organization. And the Women's Walk for Peace is an effort to connect women with policy initiatives that prevent harming women. So this year the focus is going to be on women who are incarcerated. So there's horrific things happening to women in our penitentiaries. And every year we try to look at a different population of women. Last year we looked at women whose children have been abducted. Something, we just don't think about. So, this year the focus on women who are incarcerated. The Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion Program is a program where you want to go home or you want to go to jail. We got a relationship with our police department for petty crimes, weed under 3 grams. They don't take them to jail. They call our case managers, and we develop a program for them to go through for up to 2 years, and they hold that arrest. And if they don't reoffend during that 2 years, then they're not arrested. We are going to work with, the issue with Northside Coalition is that our board has to be completely made up of Section 8 residents. So it's a struggle to build their capacity to effectively help the organization. But we have certainly grown with, a tenant board. But really, realistically, that's our interest in really working on improving the capacity of our board. I want to thank P.A.C.E. This is our first year. We're just now still getting started, and we're excited about the future.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Carter. I am the founder of the Edinai Center for Black Males, where we work to support and promote the social, educational, and economic advancement of African American young men through human capital development. We have in the United States a tragic epidemic as it relates to the success of young African American males. And it's nice that I have on a good suit and that I'm smiling and presenting in front of all you fine people, but the reality is that I'm a member of the lowest achieving population of individuals in this country. The Adonai Center, I founded back in 2009 while still a junior in college at Point Park University when I noticed the lack of African American males on campus. The Adonai Center runs two core programs specifically, our Fellows Initiative and our Young Men's Conference. Through our Young Men's Conference, we bring together about 150 young African American male leaders, and they go through a day of working with professionals through different topics as it relates to leadership. This year, we're changing the format of our conference where students will actually be driving the conversation. So we're looking to utilize our conference as a platform for student engagement to engage students in determining issues to some of the challenges that they face, some of the young men. Our other initiative is the, whoa. Well, this is not supposed to be this close up in the presentation. I thought it was down a little further, but we are moving. Our Fellows Initiative is a 4-year human capital development program where we attract young men in the 9th grade. And we take them over the course of the 4 years they're in high school through 16 different skill and competency development modules that they are able to learn and apply for their future growth and development. It better prepares them for college, it better prepares them for the workforce, and it augments their experience where we are able to connect their high school education to their college education, but also to professional advancement in the workforce. Currently, the Adonai Center provides fellows programming to 123 students in 5 high schools across the city of Pittsburgh and throughout Allegheny County. We also have established a groundbreaking partnership with the Pittsburgh Public Schools to do advancement services, particularly educational support, learning strategy workshops, tutoring, and some intensive academic services to young men in the We Promise program. This partnership has expanded our population tremendously, and it provided us access to every African American male in the Pittsburgh Public High Schools system. We are looking to build upon that so that we can expand into more schools with not moving into more than 2 per year over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. The Adonai Center is, I always say, a relationship-based organization. A lot of the early support came from people who really believed in the Adonai Center, in helping to support young African American males, and helping us move ahead and move forward in our organizational progression. I always like to say, in 2009 we were founded. In 2010 we were incubated by the Northside Coalition for Fair Housing. In 2012 we were adopted by P.A.C.E. And by the end of the year we were a 501c3, and ever since then we've been doing work on and off with P.A.C.E. and Northside Coalition and other community partners that really are interested in helping us help those that are coming up behind us. This year in the P.A.C.E. program, the Adonai Center is undergoing a planning process that will help us develop a comprehensive plan that will set us on track to becoming more sustainable, diversifying our resources, and building a strong operational infrastructure. We have a highly engaged board of directors, which is a project that we were able to accomplish last year through resources that P.A.C.E. provided us. We have a 9-member board. We have about 6 staff members and 2 retained consultants that help us execute our day-to-day operations and our programming to all of the young men that participate. In addition to some of the programming that we were able to do through the Fellows program, we were able to take 7 people last year to South Africa for the One Young World Summit, where some of our young men participated and were able to interact with student leaders young leaders under the age of 32 from 192 different countries around the globe. It is the largest young professional, young people summit outside of the Olympics. More countries represented than the Olympics this past year. I think the Olympics in 2012 had 191, they had 192. And it is actually a really good opportunity for young men to be exposed to activities that will help them remain globally competitive, locally competitive, nationally competitive. We just have to ensure that we're able to get them to that next level so that they can make us all proud. Thank you.
organization. In this program, so we're so thankful that they took the time to put these presentations together and to come out and join us today. We want to take this opportunity to thank the United Way, which is our primary sponsor of this program, as well as Bank of New York Mellon, Foundation of Southwestern Pennsylvania, and Macaulay Ministries, who's an investing partner this year. So, we still have lots of food left over, and we would love if you would just mingle and meet some of our organizations, and thank you once again for joining us this year.
What is your name?
My name is Danny Ginyard.
So, how was this experience at P.A.C.E.'s
Pecha
Kucha?
I think so.
How was this experience for you?
It was, I was very nervous. I was very nervous trying to do it. Last year, our executive director did the presentation and let us know last year that she was designating a different person from the management team to do it going forward. So I was very nervous, but it was a good experience. It's just a strength building experience. So I appreciated it and got a lot of support from P.A.C.E. and the people that I work with. So I got through it.
So will you do this next year?
I will not do it next year. One of our other managers will be doing it next year.
So you want to prep them?
Yes.
I mean, 20 seconds for 20 slides is kind of hard to do, right?
Yeah, because when I started out, I thought I had a whole lot of time to fill, because when you're looking at a slide for 20 seconds, it feels like an eternity. So I had all these words, and then I had to cut them down. So it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was a good experience.
Hi, my name is Kevin Carter. I'm the CEO of the Atlanta Center for Black Males.
Presenting 20 seconds for each slide and 20 slides. How was that for you?
Quick. I'm normally long-winded. And then I tried to cut my speech in half, and then I cut my presentation in half. So I was super short-winded today.
So, I mean, what kind of experience is that for you?
Presenting is always nice. I do not like public speaking. I taught it for 5 years, but I don't like it. But it's always nice to share the mission of the Adonai Center with people who don't know about us, because it creates bigger visibility for the organization that only takes us to the next level.
So if there's something about this presentation you'll tell somebody else from your organization who's going to do this next year, how to prep, what would you tell them?
I will tell them to make one hell of a presentation. Last year, the Adonai Center made the presentation, and we got a grant from PNC Charitable Trust. I'm not saying that you'll get a grant, but I'm saying that you never know who's in the room.
My name is Kayla Boyer, and I'm with Amachi Pittsburgh.
So how was the presentation today at P.A.C.E.'s
The Pecha Kucha?
Yeah, Pecha Kucha.
Pecha Kucha presentation. This was exciting. There were several different organizations. This was my first time doing the Pecha Kucha. But this was a good experience. I think that it was a lot of fun. Watching people try to keep up with the slides, including myself.
So if there's something in your organization that you would tell them about this event for next year, for whoever's going to present, what would you tell them?
If there was someone coming from Amashi to do this presentation next year, I would tell them to do not work from a script. I think the best thing to do would be to just treat it like a chit-chat, kind of like what the title is called. It's very hard to develop a script and speak on the slide for 20 seconds. So just speak from your heart.